Good morning, everybody. Glad to see so many leaders in the room, so many technologists, so many CIOs, so many data science and AI competence center leaders. I'm really happy to be here today and to talk about sovereignty, to talk about AI and the cloud. What does sovereignty really mean? Sovereignty is about keeping the lights on and innovating under conditions that can sometimes be really challenging. And one of the challenges seems to be to get the clicker to work. Could we go to the next page, please? Could we try and go to the next page, please? No? Sorry, the device doesn't seem to be working. Do you have another one for me? Yeah. Can we go back to the first page, please? All right. I'm just going to call out next page then. As I was saying, some of the challenges are about keeping the lights on, and some of the challenges are about innovating under challenging conditions. You're seeing some of them right here live on stage. I also experienced some of them just walking into the airport today, which was a very different environment. It was a dark corridor with emergency lighting. And after that, hundreds of people waiting and queuing in front of screens that were dark. And when the power came back on in Frankfurt Airport this morning, people in the room were literally clapping and cheering because we could go about our business of traveling to where we needed to be and driving value for the businesses and for the organizations that we represent once again. That's a challenge that many of us face every day. Next page, please. Because things in Germany can be challenging. If we talk about the business environment today, it's hard for everybody to get and find the right kind of staff. I see that when I recruit for IONOS. I see that in every restaurant. I see that in every store that has a help wanted sign out. And finding the right kind of people and the right kind of skills is a challenge today. We're also seeing that in the state of our public infrastructure. Airports, roads, trains, networks, because public investment is not where it should be for an economy of our size and scale. We're also seeing that every time we try to apply for something digitally, and the figures shown here are the Digital Government Index by World Economic Forum from 2019. Germany did not even participate in the most recent edition of that stat because we're scoring so badly. The only thing that we seem to be scoring high on right now is electricity costs, where we're up second in all of Europe in terms of the price level for households and regular non-subsidized industries. So what are some things businesses can do to overcome these challenges? Next page, please. We're seeing some of them in everyday life. Seems like you cannot go to a restaurant without being asked to order via a QR code or at a mobile kiosk. We're seeing that in the supermarket where, because it's hard to find staff, supermarkets are increasingly asking you to be the cashier and check yourself out so they can save on labor. And we're seeing that in customer service experiences everywhere, where the interactive voice response systems are making room for chatbots and making way for AI-driven, AI-empowered customer service. And that's part of three general principles that are at work for Germany and for Europe right now. Next page, please. These three are artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and digital sovereignty. Fully 78% of companies say that AI is positioned to transform competitiveness and be a decisive competitive factor for their industry. 81 have adopted or are adopting the cloud as part of a single cloud or multi-cloud strategy. And fully 94% of companies, this is from a recent Bitkom survey, are saying they have critical dependencies to foreign manufacturers and foreign sources of supply as part of their digital supply chain. I want to talk a bit about how our customers are dealing with these challenges and using these levers to transform the way they do business. Next page, please. City of Freiburg in southern Germany is one of the digital service champions in our public sector, for example. They've been looking to transform access to public services, and what they're using to do this is a knowledge-empowered, retrieval-augmented generation-empowered chatbot that enables every citizen, that enables every visitor to query the entire knowledge base of documents that Freiburg has produced at the power of a prompt and at the power of a single inquiry. And the way this works is it does not just provide access to the data, it also provides access to the data in translation and to natural language queries of every piece of content that's out there. Next page, please. So you can go up and ask the bot, how has the number of daycare places evolved in the city of Freiburg? It will go and find the most relevant documents and will summarize the results in a natural language response to you. This is a great leveler of access because you can ask the same question not just in English, you can ask it in German, you can ask it in Turkish, you can ask it in Arabic, and you will get back an answer. So this type of digital access to public services is a great leveler of access and a great democratizer of access to public services as well. Next page, please. What Freiburg is building this with is the IONOS AI Model Hub. We beta'd that extensively and launched this summer. The AI Model Hub provides easy access to the leading open source models. It's multimodal across image, across text, and it allows you to ship and use your own data as part of the product without having any concern about data location or the sovereignty about your own data. It does not go anywhere. It stays in a German data center. It's fully GDPR compliant. It's not used for training any competitor's model or any broad foundation model unless you yourself choose to expose it on the web. With this, we're empowering, we're democratizing access to AI for businesses who are concerned about data location, who are concerned about their IP, who are concerned about the digital sovereignty of the AI solutions that they build. Next page, please. Second example, because this is the AI and Data Summit, I want to talk about space. DLR is one of Europe's leading space agencies, and they are scanning the Earth with satellites every day. And DLR is using modern AI image recognition, image processing to derive value-added data sets from the raw satellite imagery, for example, in flood detection and flood mapping. And this data can be shared with first responders, with civil protection, with everybody who has a stake in access to the geospatial and the enriched geospatial environments. This is a service where the main data repository runs on the IONOS cloud. Next page, please. IONOS Cloud is a digitally sovereign, rich, multifunctional and multi-location cloud that gives you access across the infrastructure as a service space all the way to platform, data and AI services. And this is the picture that I would have shown about this time last year to explain what IONOS Cloud is and does. Next page, please. So we've gone and doubled the functionality of IONOS Cloud in roughly a year and made this twice as capable by adding capabilities like virtual CPUs that give you much better economics than the high-performance dedicated cores previously available. We've added autoscaling. We've added security groups on the network so that you can be sure access to your assets is digitally controlled. We've added a whole range of traffic processing capabilities so you can securely connect via VPN gateways so that others using services you built can securely connect via API gateways and content delivery networks. We've expanded the range of storage options. We've expanded massively the range of databases because no piece of data is quite alike. And every piece of data deserves the storage solution that is right for it, whether that is a range of SQL databases, a range of NoSQL databases, in-memory caches, or event processing within Apache Kafka. In addition, we've expanded the platform as a service offerings with container registry, logging, and monitoring services, brought live the AI Model Hub, and expanded significantly on the auditability and scan capabilities in the security space. This enables you to build really exciting applications in a truly cloud-native manner. Let's move to the next page, please. This is an example for the kind of applications you can build on a rich infrastructure as a service and platform as a service cloud environment. It's from one of our customers building a solar Internet of Things solution that collects and brings together sensor data from many, many solar panels, farms, devices, using an MQTT front end to collect data. We're using Apache Kafka to tie that data together with customer-specific metrics processing and alerting services that rely on a rich array of NoSQL, SQL, and in-memory databases to provide the best performance and the best economics for that particular use case. And we're able to serve then a customer front end relying on content delivery networks, web application firewall capabilities therein, and a powerful object store that keeps gaining in performance as we grow. That's an example for what you can do and build with a truly cloud-native approach on a digitally sovereign cloud that's made and hosted in Europe. Next page, please. So I want to talk a little more about what that digital sovereignty really means. Digital sovereignty, to me, is about four main things. First and foremost, there's one secret ingredient that is absolutely irreplaceable, and that ingredient is open source software. Open source means you can look under the hood, you can examine, you can improve, you can modify, and most importantly, you are portable. Something that you built to run on a Kafka, you can take anywhere where there's a Kafka. Something you can build that relies on, for example, a Golang application container, you can take everywhere where there's Golang. And for every product, for every service, for every building block that you use in creating your solutions, if the building block is open source, you're not locked in. You can take it and go everywhere. You are sovereign over what you build. The second part in this is having a robust multi-vendor strategy, particularly when it comes to hardware. If you're dependent on any one singular source of supply, whether that's for networking components that are made in a certain sensitive part of the world where currently a war is also going on, or whether that's hardware, whether that's CPUs, whether that's DRAM, whether that's disk, any single hardware component that goes into creating a separate cloud has to be multi-vendor sourced and secured so that you're not vulnerable to disruptions in supply. Like Frankfurt Airport was this morning, you don't want the lights to go out because a vendor has a supply chain problem. The third major ingredient in this is European data centers and European networks, because to be sovereign, you have to be on your own ground. Having data centers that are located where you are, that are subject to the regulation that is applicable where you are, and that have ultimate corporate ownership in the region where you are active. That's the only guarantee to be free from foreign power interference. For example, I just made the press yesterday, United States are now thinking about blocking Chinese-made electric vehicles, self-driving vehicles, from accessing the US market because they consider it a critical security weakness to have devices that capture so much data and share so much data over the network to be controlled by a potential foreign adversary. Last but not least, sovereignty is also about the certifications and the attestations in this space, because you should not take a single vendor's word. You should be looking for the seals of approval, the signs of trust by some of the toughest regulatory agencies to ensure that the standards that your data, that your applications deserve, actually are met by that provider. Next page, please. This is a space that we're pretty proud of. We were the first provider to be certified under ISO 27001, IT Grundschutz, and the new Cloud Computing Compliance Criteria Catalog, short C5, by the Bundesamt für Sicherheit in der Informationstechnik. We've been critical IT infrastructure for a long time now because of the massive amount of domains, the massive amount of web pages, and the massive amounts of emails that are running on IONOS infrastructure already. We've gone for ISO 14001, ISAE 3000. We're PCI DSS compliant for card data processing because we run our own backend that transacts more than 150 million transactions. In terms of the payments that our partners, our customers, and IONOS Group itself are driving over that environment. We've also recently certified our Kubernetes under the Cloud Native Computing Foundation standards. And upcoming, we're very much looking forward to being certified under NIS2. NIS2 is the new information security standard that's currently making big waves in the German and European technology industry, because NIS2 massively expands the scope of companies that fall under very strict information security rules. This is something we're looking forward to because it's essentially the same as CRITIS, as ISO 27001, as C5, and we're already there. But for the hundreds and thousands of smaller DNS providers, domain providers, digital platform providers, this is actually a significant challenge, and we look forward to the many, many lessons learned that the industry will generate, and to the process that will get as many providers as possible certified under NIS2 here in Europe. Next page, please. With open source software stacks, with sovereign hardware sources of supply, with European data centers with the right kind of certifications, IONOS has become a trusted partner to both the public sector and the private sector for some of their most demanding workloads, whether that's DLR, whether that's ITZ Bund, Dataport, soccer clubs, whether that's universities, whether that's research institutes like Fraunhofer, or ERP providers like ProAlpha. We're proud to be running some of the most demanding applications that power the digital ecosystem here in Europe today. And with this, I'm actually also approaching the end of this talk. I realize I'm the last thing standing between all of you and lunch, and that is usually a very uncomfortable position to be in. So next page, and let me leave you with one final thought here. There are a great number of challenges out there. There are also a great number of opportunities, because particularly generative AI is transforming the way we can do business. Don't be the shopkeeper, don't be the store owner that says, oh, I can't get people. Think about how you can use the technology for for your business, for your institution, for your organization. How can you transform the way you do business by harnessing the AI, by harnessing cloud, and building your digitally sovereign future now? Thank you for joining, and have a great lunch.